our guest speaker today is the Rizal Academy's Chief Exponential Officer, who is responsible for the spread of the Exponential Organization or EXO framework in the Philippines, right? And prior to the Rizal Academy stint at the Rizal Academy, our speaker worked for Aboitiz, Ayala, JG Summit lang naman as vice president in different vice president capacities or VP roles in finance, business development, and stakeholder management. And not just in the private sector, he also helped in the government as an undersecretary of the Department of Finance from 2014 to 2015. And of course, all of these things started when he earned his BS in Industrial Engineering degree at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Hindi ko na po sasabihin ang year, pero bata pa po talaga siya. And his MBA, right, in Finance and Strategy from Cornell University in 2001. And of course, our guest speaker is the founder of SAF Motorsports Philippines, a classic BMW restoration specialist. So you can see the interest. Talagang, there's a lot of technology and growing and innovation and things like that. And not just that, talagang holistic ang ating speaker. He is a golfer of 40 years and a marathoner. Michael, di ba? And currently starting out this new venture into motorcycle sports or as a motorcycle rider. And we're really, really very lucky to have our friend for today's Design Talks, none other than Mr. Jimbo Reverente. And let's give him a round of digital applause, guys.
Maraming salamat. Hi, Eric. How are you? Hi, Mike. Hi, esteemed guests, judges, and students. Very good afternoon to all of you. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Ayan, and so Jimbo will be preparing his slides now. And so while he's doing that, again, thank you so much to all our participants for joining us. You can join us in our chat box. And of course, put your questions there, which our organizers will be collating for the latter part of our conversation. And also, very important, kindly make sure that your microphones are on mute. Okay? While we appreciate your wonderful reactions to our conversations and what you're seeing on the presentation, ayan, mamaya na lang po tayo mag-usap-usap tayo sa chat box, okay? And while we also appreciate your singing voices, okay, and the voices of your parents probably in the background, okay, it would be nice to keep your microphones on mute. So, thank you so much. Yes, Michael.
Eric? Ngayon, alam mo na kung bakit sabi ko ikaw na lang mag-introduce kasi alam ko mahaba yung babasahin mo.
Alam mo, na-enjoy naman ako talaga, di ba? Kasi naman.
Oo nga naman, halata naman, di ba? So, partner, welcome to our Design Talk and we are all excited to listen what you have for us today.
Thanks, partner. Really appreciate the invitation to be here with all of you and give you an update on technology and the kinds of organizations that are able to take advantage of advances in technology. I'll share my slide, and the title of my presentation is From Scarcity to Abundance, the Rise of Exponential Organizations. I look forward to your comments in the chat. If I don't read it right away, I would appreciate it if Eric or Mike could read the comments to me, but I would appreciate any feedback that you have in the chat box or in reactions. So let's go ahead. My name is Coach Jimbo Reverente, as was said by during the introduction. I'm a life and business coach and also an exponential coach, consultant, and trainer. My massive transformative purpose, you may wonder what it is, but my MTP is connecting and inspiring people to create an abundant world for all. My background is, as mentioned, again, I have an industrial engineering degree from UP Diliman and an MBA from Cornell University. And if you ask something, is there something people don't really know about you? Well, you know, when I was in engineering in Diliman, there's this contest called Miss Engineering. And because lahat ng magaganda sa Melchor Hall, we're in the 4th and 5th floor, no, in the RT and ID college, no, hindi sa 3rd floor and below where all the engineers were. Ang sabi nila, lalaki na lang yung contestant ng Miss Engineering. So in 1988, I was Miss Industrial Engineering. No, so murupol na po ako 1988 pa lang, and In social media, the most recent one I saw in 2019, these were what the people look like, the contestants. And those are all guys, sumurupol nga sila, ganyan din po ang itsura ko. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she left right away. Sabi niya, mas maganda ka pa kasi sa akin, di ko kinaya. So, today, there is no digital photo, no, of my participation. Sayang, wala. But when you go to any concert or any activity, there's always thousands of cameras trying to take pictures of the event, for posterity, and not just the lights. No, those represent all the phones. Everybody basically has a phone. I have 14,516 photos in my phone. How many do you have? Can you type it in the chat box? Ilan ang litrato ninyo? Let's see how many people have. Some people have in the hundreds, some in the thousands, 10,000s. Ilan yung sa inyo? Let's see how many you guys have. Most of you are students, so I suppose marami kayong pinupuna na litratos from screenshots, videos, TikTok, everything. How many pictures do you have on your phone? Let's see in the chat
Michael,
box what
siguro
people
marami.
say.
Jimbo, alam mo si Michael, for sure marami yan sa phone. I also would like to
8,000.
know. So there's 8,000 from UP Baguio.
17,000.
University of Baguio.
Okay, 100 lang. 14,000. I have more than most of you. Totoo ba yan? That's really hard to believe. Baka bago lang yung mga litrato ninyo. Okay, so thousands and thousands of pictures. Okay, so 158, lol talaga. 24,000 from Bulacan State U, right? Christian. Nida has 17,000. Wow, talaga ang dadami. Okay, so where do all the pictures go? Do they go to albums? 42,000. Kayo yung isa, mga kaibigan. Winner po siya for today. 42,890. So where do the pictures end up? Well, they end up on social media. They don't end up in an album. They're all put online. I have 3 accounts, Jimbo Reverente, Coach Jimbo Reverente, and SAF Motorsports, and all the pictures are there. It has really led to the rise in global mobile data consumption. Nagugulat pa ba kayo? Sa dami ng mga litratong kinukuha ninyo, and all of this is posted, no? It's mostly taken on your mobile phone. Data consumption has, Chat Forest has 86,000 pictures. Siya po ang panalo. So look at that, no? Exponential growth. The curve is going up. It's not slowing down. Dumadami ng dumadami yan. And that the last data we have is from the fourth quarter of 2019. So you can assume that's going up even more. Let's look back on 2012. On 2012, there is this shift from scarcity. Photography was invented, the cheap camera was invented by Kodak. No, when it was launched, Kodak is 124 years old. They launched with this Kodak camera, small wooden thing. You press the button, we do the rest. In 2012, they had 145,000 employees, and they sold 90% of all films sold in the US. But there was a shift from scarcity to abundance. Kodak went bankrupt because the same year that they went bankrupt, remember, they were 124-year-old company, and they had 145,000 employees. In 2012, they went bankrupt the same year that Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. They only had 13 employees, and they were only 3 years old. That was a landmark year, 2012. Why? The shift was from really expensive film, right? Really expensive film that you had to take photography class. Kasi mahal yung film. You wanted to take the right photo. You had to compose. You had to have the right lighting. But the professional photographers still do that. But with your digital camera or your phone, you can take as many pictures as you want. And it's an issue of digital storage, not anymore of film. But the marginal cost of your extra photograph is almost zero. Wow. My throat is getting itchy. So would you be surprised that even Instagram, from that moment in 2012, they only had 50 million users. Very quickly, look at that shape of that curve. It's curving, going up. to 1 billion users. So they had an exponential growth as well. So it followed the trend. The trend in global mobile data consumption followed the rise of Instagram users. Very hard to imagine exponential growth because our brains are not wired to think exponentially. We only see linear growth. So if I were to ask you to take, here's an example. If I were to ask you to take 30 steps of 1 meter each, napakadaling isipin, right? 30 steps, 1 meter each. I'll end up 30 meters away. If I ask you, where will you be after 15 steps? You'll say, well, I'm halfway, I'm 15 meters, right? In a linear world, that's very easy to figure out. But exponential growth, very, very hard to figure out. If I were to ask you to take 30 exponential steps, meaning your first step is 1 meter, your second step is 2 meters, your third is 4, so on and so forth, where do you think you'll end up? How many meters? You want to make a guess? Can you guys make a guess? How many meters do you think? Kung linear, 1 meter at a time, 30 steps will take you 30 meters. What about 30 exponential steps? How many meters kaya? What do you think? 1,000? 10,000? 100,000? Put it on the chat box. Let's see what your guesses are. Let's see what your guesses are. And while you guess, I'm going to drink some coffee.
Ayan, math ito, Jimbo eh. So, kaya tahimik kami ni
No,
Michael.
just take a wild guess. Take a wild guess.
Ayan.
Rain
So,
said 1 billion.
1 billion.
Wow. Okay, what about others? How many guesses can you make? 100 meters.
Yan, from floor, University of Baguio.
Come on, guys. How many people are we here? How many participants do we have? Let's have
238 participants.
Okay,
Come on,
out
guys.
of 238, dalawang entry pa lang.
Ito mahirap basahin from UPD.
Meron yata may nag-Google ng answer, no? Very good.
Taking use of technology.
Oh, dalawa na, oh. Oh, tama?
Parehas
Siyempre,
nga
nag-Google
sagot.
muna kayo, no? Parehas sa sagot. Okay. Tamang-tama, eksakto yung sagot. But what does that represent? That represents 30 linear steps will take you 30 meters. 30 exponential steps will take you 28 times around the Earth. And if I ask you, where will you be after 15 steps? Will you be halfway? No, you'll be 0.003% of the way lang. Your last 5 steps will take you 97% way. Kaya napakahirap to think about exponential growth. Now, exponential technologies follow kind of the same pattern. For a long time, they're not as good as what's currently available, so they remain deceptive. You don't see them. They're disappointing, they're deceptive. But when they cross that barrier in terms of price performance, boom, disruptive na sila. But even experts get it wrong in terms of figuring out what exponential growth looks like. The IEA is the International Energy Agency. Okay, they make forecasts of solar capacity installed in the world. If you look at the actual capacity graph, do you see the same curve going up steadily? But look at all their forecasts on any given year, 2006, 2008, 2009. Look at their forecasts. It's flat. No, it's flat. They go left to right. They don't go up like this. They go left to right. These are the experts making those forecasts. Pababa pa nga yung isa. Look at the 2018 and 2016 forecasts. Bumababa. But what's happening year after year, it goes up. So even experts get these forecasts wrong. Why is that? Because of the doubling pattern in price performance. Look at the price performance of solar energy. It's going down. It's expected to really go below the operating cost of fossil fuel powered plants. Now, I was in the power industry. When we talked about solar energy, that's not going to happen. But when the doubling pattern happens of price reduction, it just continues on and on and on. To the point, what will happen when the poorest countries, which are the sunniest countries usually, have solar energy become the main source of power, how would that transform their society, their economy? So we're at this point where a lot of technologies are hitting the point where it's crossing over into affordability and widespread adoption. And solar energy is just one of those examples. Now, what's the impact on industries and organizations by technology? These 6Ds were described to us by Peter Diamandis, who wrote the book Abundance. And in his book, he says that technology will not create scarcity, it will create abundance. So he describes these 6Ds. Let's go over them one by one. Uh, I suppose you understand why he chose the letter D. No, his first last name begins with letter D. If Mike Pizarro came up with this, he would probably make it the 6Ps. But anyway, let's talk about the 6Ds. The first is information gets digitized. A lot of information is now on your phone. I just bought a book. Did I buy a physical book? No. One click, I have it in my Kindle reader. Your health, your how many steps you take, no, your heart rate, your blood pressure can be can be converted into digital information on your wearable, and your driving behavior, roads and traffic are collected as well. It's digitized into self-driving electric vehicles, right? So the information is digitized. When it's and the next step is because again it's deceptive. It's deceptive because it takes a long time for technology to really hit that sweet spot when it becomes affordable. It takes a long time. It's just like a bamboo. A bamboo shoot, when you plant it, it has a 5-year growth cycle. Nothing happens until the last 5 weeks of the 5-year growth cycle, and it grows 25 meters in those 5 weeks. Parang ganyan na technology. You think nothing's happening because it's below the surface. You don't see it. But when it does, it
No.
hits. It really becomes quite disruptive. And when disruption happens, it really changes industry. Look at the information-based industry. Where do you get your news? Do you still, when was the last time you bought a physical newspaper or even a physical magazine? When was the last time you did that? I don't buy newspapers anymore. I get most of my news on Facebook. I follow I follow Star, Inquirer, etc. I follow that on Facebook. Where do I get my music? On Spotify. I haven't jumped the ship into not jump ship. I haven't started collecting vinyl, but it's too much trouble for me. I just click on Spotify and I can find that music. So books, same thing. It's on my Kindle reader. And when was the last time you borrowed a video cassette from Astrovision or etc. No, or Video City? In the US, Blockbuster was huge. They had in every strip mall around the US, they had all these stores that they would rent out video cassettes or even eventually DVDs. When was the last time you bought a DVD? Do you even have a CD drive or a DVD drive on your computer? No, when you watch movies, it's mostly now on Netflix or it's downloaded. So if you were in any of these industries, you would have gone bankrupt already. Excuse me. Bankruptcy, demonetization, the revenues go away. Top left, ebook sales have converged already. No, ebook sales have converged with physical book sales. Top right, Google ad sales now exceed newspaper ad sales. Advertising revenues fell off a cliff. Look at the last part of that graph in the bottom left. Even music, as it changed format, CDs were great, terrific. No, it was so easy. But when digital came in, again, it fell off a cliff. So demonetization happens toward becoming almost free. Does this what will this video look very surprising to you, or you're not surprised at all? After demonetization comes dematerialization. Let's look at this video. Ano kaya ang matitira? So the newspapers are going away. These books are going away. Ads, billboards, fax machine going away. Paper, the globe into maps. mail, introduction of Facebook, Skype, the alarm clock went away, the picture went away, all these books, the Rolodex went away. Anong matitira? Four things will remain. Oh, see, even yung susi nawala kasi you can get a ride via Grab or Uber. Yung shades, yung laptop, and yung cell phone, yun lang natira. After demonetization, dematerialization happens. It becomes all digital and all. Imagine if you're a maker of fax machines and all you did was make fax machines. Wala ka na rin negosyo ngayon. And when things become demonetized and dematerialized, then it becomes democratized because now it's available to as many people who can use it. So the technology can be used by anybody around the world. So anyone can access technology and transform the world with it. So here are a few of those technologies. 3D printing is a 35-year technology, but it's now cheap. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, biotechnology, augmented reality, virtual reality, drones, battery storage and solar power, quantum computing, nanotechnology, autonomously driven electric cars, and robotics. Let's look at 3D printing. What can you do now with 3D printing? Here's a video of a mom who used 3D printing for her daughter.
Okay, hold on, stop. That's it, big girl. There we go.
That's probably quite a good thing for you to
Best in the world. What do you think you'll do with it? You scratch.
Amazing. Imagine what you can do with 3D printing now and having those sensors also built in and after the hand has been printed out. Let's look at artificial intelligence. You'll see a video of the CEO of Google talk to other people within Google as well about artificial intelligence. This is not science fiction, guys. This is actually happening.
Even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
And that's the power of AI now. It can recognize language, recognize the pattern, recognize the question, and then answer. Ganun na kabilis yung processors and yung software behind it. So we really believe in the open EXO community that in the age of exponential technologies, we will create abundance. And it's exponential organizations that are able to access and manage that abundance. What are EXOs? EXOs are those companies that are able to put together technology and organizational techniques, and they can scale up as fast as this technology, like Instagram, growing exponentially. Now, so you put the three together, the three ideas together, the three concepts. Exponential technologies can lead to generate abundance, and it's exponential organizations that are able to harness that abundance. Now, what is an exponential organization? This is Salim Ismail, the author of the book, Exponential Organizations, and he says, an exponential organization, or EXO, is one whose impact or output is at least 10 times larger than that of its industry peers, thanks to the use of new organizational techniques that leverage accelerating technologies. Now, what's an example? Very clear to me, at least. Hopefully, you'll understand it. Grab is an example of an exponential organization. It started out as a hailing or e-hailing way to book a taxi when it was first introduced in, I think, in Malaysia or Indonesia. I could be wrong. It was a way to book a taxi. You know, sa Pilipinas, way to get a taxi, you just stand and wait for a taxi to come by. In other countries, in there, you call a phone number and say, I need to be picked up, I need a ride. So the technology was used in this case, but now they just don't do that. They do food delivery, courier, grocery, and so many other things. It's also a way to pay. It's now in 400 cities. And they've grown so much, their footprint, now 14 locations, 400 cities, 19 types of services, and over 9 million partners are part of this economy. And look at that growth. It's also that same shape. Exponential then, downloads, number of rides, annual revenue. So it's that exponential growth. So in the book Exponential Organizations, Salim, with his co-author, said there's a formula. This does not happen by accidents. They studied these organizations and they said ito yung what they have in common. They use staff on the left, they use staff on demand, community and crowd, the algorithms leverage assets and engagement. Those are the scale attributes that allow you to tap into abundance. On the right are the ideas attributes. Again, this is what those exponential organizations have in common. They use interfaces, dashboards, experimentation, autonomous teams, and social technologies. And at the very top, the very important one is the MTP, or massive transformative purpose, which is the higher aspirational purpose of an organization, capturing the hearts and minds of those inside and outside the organization. Purpose. So if you're familiar with Simon Sinek, who's a management author, he says, start with why. This is the why, the purpose of organizations. So all these organizations have a very strong MTP. So one of the tools that we have to plan for and to recognize what attributes are being used by some of these exponential organizations, we have this tool called the Exocanvas. And we say, okay, what's the MTP? What's the information that can be digitized? Look at the scale attributes on the left. So staff on demand, community and crowd, etc. On the right, you have interfaces, etc. So if you look at staff on demand, they have drivers or staff on demand. And then you look at interfaces, those are the Grab platform by which you interact with Grab, and it filters all that abundant information and makes it usable in their algorithms. What are their algorithms used for? To match services, drivers and riders, food customers, and the restaurants or food retailers, and then it's matched with the delivery service. So those are the kinds of businesses now that are rising, the platform businesses where there's matching going on. Grab, they don't employ the drivers, they also don't own the food, but they match the buyers and the providers. No? So that's one example of a business that's on the rise. They also, so they help a lot of social sellers. They provide, so now if you have a small business and you're accessible by Grab, all of a sudden you have access to that marketplace. Plus, they also work with government to drive digitalization. So this rise of the digital age, no, technology is really is rising much faster than everything else. Individuals, businesses, public policy and regulations, they change much more slowly, right? But what happened because of the pandemic? They have to adjust even faster because the pandemic really changed the way we interact with each other. When there's no desire to have a physical contact anymore because of the fear of getting infected, then the shift became to technology, digital channels. So, what are the next steps? What can we do with this knowledge? Well, it's really not easy to transform digitally or to even go through exponential transformation. It's almost like you're this woolly mammoth with a change in it's the end of the ice age, the climate's about to change. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? And why is that? It's because the organization's immune system attacks innovation. On the left is the picture of the very first digital camera. So type into your Google search, who invented? Siyempre, I'm not gonna, kasi gagawin nyo rin naman, di ba? You're gonna Google it. So why don't you Google it and see if you're gonna be surprised? Who invented the digital camera? Let's see who comes up with that question, the answer first. Who invented the digital camera? Can you put in the chat box after you've searched it in Google? Ayan na. Steven Sasson. Who did he work for? Who did Steven Sasson work for?
Chat Forest. Kasi maraming pictures.
Vidal Sasson. Ha! Love it. Steven Sasson worked for the organization that became bankrupt because of digital photography itself. Kodak invented the digital camera by one of their employees, Steven Sasson, and they went bankrupt. Why? Because for them, their business was not digital photography. For them, their business was film. Their business was developing film, making the chemicals to develop film and photographic paper. For them, that was their business. They did not make that shift. They did not realize the people did not want to print out photos anymore to put in an album. It changed. People now take pictures to upload to social media. So the barriers are bureaucracy, right? All these multi-layered systems in organization, working in silos. No, this is what I do. And then cognitive biases, not realizing that these changes are going on and that the change that's accelerating is in itself accelerating too. The acceleration is accelerating. So the barriers to innovation and transformation, is it about technology? No, look at this list. Top two, lack of trust and empowerment, no clear direction, lack of readiness by customers to accept new ideas. So it's not about technology, it's about people. It's about the immune system response of people to change. What can help drive change? Are you still surprised? No, it's about people as well and leaders. Leadership, trust, and support, innovative teams, collaborative environments, clear process for innovation. And innovation, look at this, alignment of incentives and performance. Innovation as part of my key performance indicator. So it's about people. It's about the alignment of people toward change and accepting technology and saying it's really a part of life. If you don't adapt with it, no, you'll go the way of the woolly mammoth. So what is digital transformation about? It's really not about technology. It's about shift in culture and mindsets. Do you have a digital mindset? Do you have an innovative mindset? Are you driven by logic, algorithms? Are you focusing on collaboration, not necessarily just by physical, but even virtual work? Are you keeping data privacy as forefront? Are you focusing on exponential impact? That's the digital mindset. And then, do you innovate? Are you driven by insights and creativity, the people side of building trust and relationships? Are you focused on learning all the time and experimenting with new things? And are you focused on adding value and making sure that you have a competitive edge? Okay, so it's not about technology, it's about culture and mindsets. So the question is, where are you on this transformation curve? Are you resisting change? Do you want to not use any technology at all and get left in the Stone Age? Are you a zombie? You don't know what's going on? Are you just watching to see? Are you a bystander? Are you a supporter willing to assist? Or are you a driver? Where are you here? Where are you? Where do you want to be? So the future is scary, but the best way to predict it is to actually invent it, according to Alan Kay of Xerox PARC. They're the ones who invented the graphical user interface, or GUI, that led to Windows and the Apple interface. Before, if you watched Mr. Robot, it was just all lines of code. So I'd like to invite you at this point to check out our community that believes in exponential transformation. You can check us out at openexo.com. We have 8,000 members. When I joined, there were only 2,000. So even the community grew exponentially. You'll get access to tools, lots of videos, and you can even get certifications. And there's free content if you want to get certified with a certificate. You could put on LinkedIn, etc., and become called certified. Then yeah, there's a payment for that, but the content there mostly is free. Again, OpenEXO, you'll get to interact with the community, and you'll learn more about what it takes to transform your businesses or your organizations in an exponential manner. At the Rizal Academy, our MTP is, or massive transformative purpose, is transforming leadership for an inclusive and sustainable world. We're also on the web at rizalacademy.com. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I use a nice piece of technology. On my left is my QR code. If you scan it with your camera, my contact information will be saved on your phone instantly. I don't have to print out business cards and distribute it to you. I just have this QR code over here. I have just this QR code, and you can scan it and save my information right away. That's the end of my presentation. I'll turn you back over to Mike and Eric. Maraming salamat. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Jimbo. Mabuhay ka. That was really interesting to just listen to you. Aside from being so animated, really the topic is so important right now for designers, right? As we are co-creating a world, a better world for everyone, and design is very important. And later on, of course, our judges will be giving feedback, insight as to how this can be applied in the design community. But I'd like to start the conversation, please allow me. Our barriers that you said is cognitive bias. So what do you think is the most challenging or the most difficult cognitive bias that we need to hurdle on? And what will create the shift so that we can really take the exponential step, or our first exponential step?
Okay, that's a really great question. I believe that most good-hearted people want to have a positive impact on the world, right? So how can we maximize the positive impact we have on the world? If we don't shift to digital tools, if we don't shift, I'm not saying that analog tools are bad. Well, when we learn to draw, at least me, maybe most of you learn to draw with a pencil. It's your first tool. It fits in your hand. Now, I still believe in writing, actually, but now I use an iPad and my Apple Pencil. And a lot of people now draw natively with these tools. If you don't shift to digital tools, you're limiting your positive impact on the world because of the difficulty of replicating your designs, your ideas, communicating. So there's a cognitive bias there. No, I'll stick to analog. Pero what's your purpose? Let's go back to your purpose. So in life coaching, we ask about what's your purpose? Right. Who are you? What's your declaration, right? Who are you? What's your purpose? So when you say my purpose is to make the world a better place through design, well, if you don't use digital tools, your reach is so limited. But if you participate in the digital economy, you participate in digital tools, using digital tools, instantaneously, your designs can be seen and appreciated by people all over the world.
Mhm.
So that's a cognitive bias that we need to kind of overcome. That
Right.
analog tools are best,
Mhm.
right? But when the question is, go back to your purpose. Is your purpose to have a positive impact on the world? If it is, the fastest way to do that is to embrace digital tools. Will you
Right.
lose the beauty of your design? Will you lose, uh, the spirit behind it? Will you lose the emotion behind it? I don't think so. In fact, you'll be able to communicate that to more people much more quickly.
Right, Ganda. Thank you so much for that answer. It's really a
Thanks for
clarity of
that question.
purpose. Diba? So we're just starting, Jimbo. And so at this point, right, we'll be hearing from our judges din naman. And so Michael's here to
Yeah.
moderate and facilitate.
Yes. I'd like to welcome the judges to our conversation. Let's start with who do we have right now? Siguro let's just open the discussion to anyone who want to start the conversation going. Ito yung magandang tanong eh. What took you as a designer, both architectural designer and an interior designer, started this shift? Yeah. So shift from analog to digital. And what was the effect of digitalization in the output and in the design process that you have discovered when you were shifting?
We can start with architect there.
Yeah.
Architect
there-
Kathy.
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon. Well, first of all, I would just like to say, Jimbo Reverente, my dear old friend, my goodness, you had us riveted on our seats. Initially, I thought I was going to sit back and relax and maybe tinker on my phone and do something else, check my stuff. No. You were such a cup of coffee. You were perky. You were perfect. This is prime time. And Michael and Eric knows this. They both know this. This is the time when people start dozing off, especially in Zoom meetings. But no, you did not do that to us. Wow. Every slide was worth, wow, let me take a look at that intently. Galing ah. We architects, whether professionals or students, we're so used to all these technical presentations. Interior designers, architects, landscape architects. Hi, chat. I know you're there. Hello, Ivy. Parang all of you are all my friends na, Michael, Eric. So we all see each other in various webinars. We're used to all these design talks, sustainable talks, but all of a sudden, Jimbo just brought to our platform something else, and then our minds get tickled pink. So tell me, and I am asking now, truly, as I'm also responding to the question that Michael and Eric and Jimbo raised, digital transformation in architecture. So much has happened in the past 2 years. We needed to not just adapt, but we also needed to adjust the way we manage our people, the way we deliver our work, the way we meet our clients, the way we see job sites. Oh my goodness. And that in itself is so different, and technology empowers us. So we are starting to look at virtual reality. We are more into building information modeling now. We are looking at many other visualization and rendering models and tools. At the same time, my team and I were about 48 architects in our company. It's okay naman pala to work from home. Now, the people who come to work physically are those who are visiting job sites, and then those who are in the office to put together material boards, as well as bind all the permits and all the building documents. But all of these have actually been speeded up because of this pandemic. And we saw that particular slide of Coach Jimbo, where that exponential growth to speeding up, even online purchases now, is the norm. So thank you, because your talk really opened us up to, wait a minute, what other avenues can we in the design and build industry can still work on? And that is what we should all be prepared for. Technology and digital transformation will be such a major part of who we are and what we do from now on. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Jims.
You're
May tawagan
welcome,
kami
Cassie.
niyan. Tawag namin sa isa't isa nung araw. Same
Same day.
Oh, di ba? Pero hindi na namin sasabihin bakit. Kasi ano na, nakaraan na. Okay? Hindi ko alam ni Ivy Almario yan. Okay.
Yeah. Architect Normandy is raising his hand. You want to contribute something on the conversation? Architect Normandy.
Yeah. Good afternoon again. Good afternoon to all the students present here. No, surely you will be our future users and loyalists of Nippon Paints, diba? No? Okay, so advertising na yan. Well, anyway, I just like what Ma'am Cathy said. I was so shocked with the way our speaker, the leader, that very mesmerizing topic. No?
You're too kind, sir.
Yeah, I thought all the while that I will be talking about, or we will be talking about technology in the practice of architecture. No, I did not expect that it to be on a broader way, no, broader, more wide proportion, no. So, but anyway, I want to just let me just rely on or speak about technology in the way we practice architecture, no. I was one of those early architects who embrace technology, no. Correction, no, kanina, Mike, no, I was talking about being the youngest in the panel of digest. I was not talking about age. I was talking about my being the first time being the first time here in the as a judge in the Ayda competition. It's not about age. In fact, I can accept that I'm the oldest here. Ganun na ba? Well, anyway, in the early 90s, I already embraced technology by learning myself with the AutoCAD, no, basic AutoCAD lang, no. And then you know what? From that year up to this year, I started with AutoCAD Release 13. Up to this time, AutoCAD 2021, there are already about 22 versions of AutoCAD, no.
Wow.
And you know what? Pertaining to your discussion a while ago, it is only at this time that I realized that I call that an exponential step in my career, because I have experienced leaps and bounds in the practice of my profession using or embracing technology, no? Because in using there are so many incorporated technology in design now. There are so many what we call this advancement, no, in architecture pertaining to technology. These are the basic is the CAD, and then we are now with BIM, no, building information modelings, no. And honestly, I am only about to start with BIM, and there is this virtual reality. There is this artificial intelligence, no. Those are so many programs that have been improved through all these years, and I think they are very, very, very vital in the practice of architecture. Because it makes everything easy. Architecture is very parametric, no. You are what I mean is architecture is time oriented and what we call this time oriented and efficiency oriented, no. So we have to have all these tools to make it easier for us to come up at the smallest time possible, no. And all those other improvements and all other what they call this benefits that we are having with this technology. If I may, no, you can please furnish me a copy of the video of the lecture of our speaker.
Sure, no problem.
yeah, there are so many things there that I want to engage with, no? But then only as of now, I can only contribute with you as regards to my practice in architecture, no? So I'll give me time as we go on to what they call this, to give more some reactions. Let's have our other reactors, no? Thank you so much, no? Tingnan mo, natataranta ako. I don't know what to say really, no? Yeah, it's mesmerizing. Yeah, really. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Salamat po,
Architect Norman. I'd like to invite Chat for a quick conversation. Chat, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Thank
Hi,
you for
Chat.
the talk. It was really, really very interesting. And actually, I was just in a earlier lunchtime. I was trying to help my daughter through her online exam, and there was a really big gap between the two of us because she was answering her quiz through her computer without any notes. So she was like, Mom, this is the panghalip. I was like, okay, wait. Can I just digest it first? Because there's panao, there's panuklang or whatever. So I was trying to like put it together because I couldn't understand it. And she couldn't understand it too, right? And, I was like, how do you know these things? Because she's not really good in Tagalog. Oh my God, Google Translate. She was doing it. So I'm like, that's bawal. So she took it out. And then, she was doing everything like just looking at the screen. And me, kasi I'm so used to looking at notes. So I write down what I learn and I answer on the computer. And I'm still like that. Until now, we do the computer a lot, but then I have to write notes, even when I go to meetings. But that's me, that's my training. So I believe technology is really, really important, especially like I usually go to like these exhibits abroad, and I went to this university contest in Milan, and the winners of the contest for architecture and interior design had all their projects laid out all around the school. Some were plates, some were actual vignettes, and some were exhibitions. My jaw dropped. As in, I really thought, because they had like special exhibits by Kengo Kuma and other famous architects. Akala ko yung exhibit, Kengo Kuma, yung pala student. Ganong kaganda ang presentation. And they were done with 3D printers, 3D cutters, and they do modeling na kasi, diba? In schools now, they have 3D printers, and they do their modelings first, and then they do the samples. But that's how they do graphic design na rin. And I felt when I saw that 10 years ago, I realized, oh shucks, we gotta move on. It has to move forward, and their presentation skills are different. So, for me, technology is very important for us to go global. Yeah. But you may wonder, kids, how come in college you still go through drafting, using a Leroy? Do you still use a Leroy? I'm not sure, but hindi na ba? Oh, that's a skill.
I don't think so.
To learn that. But all those, diba?
T-square, right? A T-square and triangles.
Leroy is
Come on, Chat, don't reveal your age.
I know, right? It's a skill. So, things like that, why do they still teach it? You might be thinking that while you're in college. I mean, why am I learning this when I have to do the computer? Naman, it's so easy. I have to learn it because you can mix both. Some people combine it, especially like when I saw that Italian exhibit, they combine ang galing ng mga kamay. They were doing on hand. So for me, I still believe technology is fantastic. It is a way for us to go, but you have to know your basics. One thing that I have a hard time with, when I have applicants in my office, I always make them sketch. If they cannot sketch, I cannot hire them. And believe it or not, they can't sketch. So for me, the basic and then know the technology and marry both.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Chat, kanina sinabi ko in my introduction with you, you can put the most crazy things, unpredictable combination, but you make it work. I love the way you look at design. I love the way you tell story about your design. Were these products of how technology have infected not only your mind, but also in your heart in terms of looking into the future while anchored in tradition, as you've been mentioning?
Yeah, you things never really get out of style for me. But I don't follow trends. Weird, no? Parang for me, design evolves, and evolves. Nothing is hindi na uso, nothing is ganyan. But because you have to think like Madonna. Kilala niyo po ba si Madonna? I mean, the young ones, ha? Kasi, for a time, she kept on evolving. Like every 2 years. Ngayon yata, it's Lady Gaga or I don't know na who. Billie Eilish or something. Whoever evolves, diba? So, with me, as a designer, you shouldn't think, ay, hindi na uso yan. Ay, hindi na uso. Sometimes it stops you from designing. No, you shouldn't think of boundaries. You have to think fearless. You have to continue designing for yourself and instinctively. So, you have to develop your own taste. And that's where the technology of the Kindle goes on. Reading never stops, ha? Just because my technology doesn't mean you stop reading. You read on. That's why nga, you have to read. Alam mo ako, I buy old architectural digest, yung mga 1980, kasi doon kayo natututo eh. Then you move forward. So nothing really is out of trend.
Yeah. Thank you, Chat. Thank you. Wonderful input.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ivy Almarius here. We want to hear your voice, Ivy.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Ivy.
Hi.
Yes. On the back end, I just want to tell a story. Ivy is one of the very few interior designers who still do manual drawing. We were just talking about it a few weeks ago, right? And when you see her drawings, it brings you back to a day and age when presentation is an art. But when you look at the outputs of her actual installation, it brings you forward. So why such a marriage? And what are the secrets behind it, Ivy?
First off, I would really like to thank Jimbo. It's so his talk was riveting, as Kathy said. It opened my eyes. It really opened my eyes. I am actually, admittedly, I have the bias. I have the cognitive bias. It's my demographic. Try as I may, it was really there. But thank you for telling me that my positive impact is limited and it limits my reach. Because really, I'm a pen and ink girl because for a long time I was a rendering artist. And so my love for paper, my love for, I see things in 3D. Ironically, if I tell my story, I was really the software before CAD because my clients will give me all of I was both the software, of course, context and content. They will give me all of the information that I needed to do a 3D rendering. They will give me all the inputs. And what are the inputs that are needed? Everything that's being CAD drafted now. I mean, before it came to me, I needed the sections, I needed the elevations, I needed the ceiling plans, I needed all that information. And I was actually the computer that made it happen. So automatically now, because of that training, I really think in 3D. I really do. Put me in a room and faster than the speed of light, I can see it emerge in front of my eyes. Why? Because it was just 10 years of doing it every day. For anything digital was the opposite. I will run to the opposite side of the room. I mean, I'm like, my employees laugh at me because they'll say, Mom, it's just push it to the right. Yan lang, Mom. Or ganito lang yan, Mom, how to delete. I get so scared to change my opinion on it. Will it change my design output? Probably. I really have, of course, it's progress, right? but to answer your question, Michael, it's really a gift. I will never look back to the time that I didn't render, because really I see a product, I see a finished product in 3D in my head. And I look forward now to embrace digital with it.
Yeah.
I will never and Kathy has seen me in action. I believe together with chat, let's not lose our ability to sketch. Even if we sketch on a digital device, let us still know how to sketch. Because only when you understand, you can only draw it if you understand it. If you cannot understand it, you cannot even begin to formulate a design solution. So to all of the students out there, there is a purpose for sketching. Discover it. Let's challenge each other. While you discover sketching, I will discover digital technology. That's my promise. If you promise to sketch. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can I share lang my
Thank you so much.
experience around that, around
Yeah,
sketching? There are very different intelligences, right? There's physical intelligence. I had a classmate because I also did engineering drawing one, ES1, in UG Diliman. And I had a classmate who couldn't think in 3D. He went on, he shifted to economics and did very well, because in economics, the graphs are just 2D, no? XY axis lang, walang Z. And my favorite part in ES1 was when they gave you top, front, and side views. And then they'll tell you, make a 3D picture, non-isometric view. And then even more favorite was sasabihin nila, hatiin mo sa gitna, buksan mo, anong itsura sa loob, di ba? I love that. And that's an incredible intelligence that all of you share. No, all of you are in this field where you can see it in your mind's eye, you can see it in your head. If I ask you, buksan mo anong itsura sa loob, kayang-kaya niyong gawin yon. So that's such a gift that can be shared with so many people. So for me, technology allows you to share. What was previous to CAD? Blueprinting. Blueprinting is a technology, right? That was the prior technology of replicating your design, blueprinting. Before that, you couldn't replicate it. Someone else had to draw the same thing, and you would use tracing paper. So a lot of this technology is just allowing you to increase your impact. So for me, that's the perspective I have.
Yeah, and Jimbo, if I may add, I'm loving this conversation because it's like a throwback to all these gadgets and technology.
Yeah.
But my question is this: is it automatic, therefore, for our students, since they're younger, way younger compared to us, right? Is it automatic that, considering they're digital natives, that they already have an exponential mindset? And
Good question.
so I mean, because do we expect them to automatically just come up with technology and use it in their designs? And how does that work? Is it a function of age also?
It's not a function of age. It's a function of your amygdala. When you're born, any technology that when you're first born, no, before you're 15, you feel it's part of the normal way of the world, right? So when I was growing up, normal as a telephone was a wired phone with a rotary, no? May party line pa kami and we only had 6 numbers, 707019. For me, normal yon. When I grew up, biglang the first cell phones came up. You didn't have to wait 20 years. You could walk into a Smart or PL or Globe store and buy a phone. May linya ka na agad. Pero yung cellphone na yon, pwede mong ipukul sa magnanakaw yon. Pwede kang makasakit, no? Sa laki at bigat, para siyang iron. Ganun kalaki. Right. In fact, the very first cell phones had to be installed in cars because the battery technology needed to power that cell phone had to be the size of the battery of the car. Right. So imagine lumiit. And now, wow, imagine the processing power in your cell phone is more than the computing power that was used by the US to send people to the moon.
Wow.
Mind blowing. But if you grew up with a cell phone, right? You grew up with a cell phone that's this size and you can watch videos and talk to somebody on your cell phone without having to call. You just on Facebook Messenger, you make a video call. Normal na sa'yo yun. No, it's part of what you are. But the older you get, anything new in technology that is introduced, feeling mo that's against the natural order of things na. Kasi it's threatening. It's threatening what you're used to. So if you're born digitally, you're not imagining the party line, rotary dial phone. Di ba if you give a rotary dial phone to a young person now, they say, paano mo gagamitin to? Did they press the... They don't know that you have to turn it around. There were only 5 channels on TV. You had to get up and change the channel on the TV. There's only channel 2, 4, 7, 9, and 13. 5 channel lang po. You had to get up, so people just stayed on one channel instead of getting up to change it. Now all you do is change channel, screen all the Netflix previews. You can't decide. You end up going to sleep and not watching anything.
Hindi
Because
uso
there's so much
surfing.
information. Right? Wala.
Yeah,
Ang surfing. So, it's what
Yes,
you're used to
Architect
when you're growing up.
Normandy is, thanks
Yeah.
Jimbo for that answer. Architect Normandy is raising his hand.
Yeah, may
Yes,
time pa ba? You know, I just want to add some more with what Ma'am Ivy discussed a while ago, no? Kasi I didn't realize Ma'am Ivy is not into AutoCAD yata, and is not into some sort of latest technology, no? You know what? In my case, no, I treat technology only as a tool. Kumbaga, ang pencil is the technology, no? Sabi nga ng mga contemporary ko sa Pampanga, no, I'm from Pampanga. Yung mga kaedad ko, you know, I'm nearing seniority already. I will not deny that, no? Sabi nila iba pa rin daw yung manual na pagdo-drawing. Sabi ko, no, you have to try technology. You have to try how to do it in CAD. Kasi in my case, sabi ko nga, in the early 90s, nag-AutoCAD na ako. Siguro I'm one of the few among 30, one every 30 architects in Pampanga or everywhere na marunong mag-AutoCAD. So what they do is they sketch the drawing on the bond paper and then give it to their AutoCAD operator. No? You know, sabi ko, in AutoCAD, it will enhance more your ability to design. No? Kasi let's say for example, nag-drawing ka ng oval, no, an ellipse sa manual. And then you need some adjustment. So how will you do that in manual? The AutoCAD, you just pick it and then put the numerals or the items there, and then it adjusts normally. No, so Ma'am Ivy, it's not yet too late for everyone to learn technology. I can see that you are. Mabubola na ako nito eh. You are in your early 30s, no, not really, no. Wala nito, no. So you will find it very enjoyable, no.
Okay.
Like what I've said, no. I'm always saying when I speak to students, no, the design output is as dull or as beautiful as the one who drove the pencil or the one who what do you call this? Who use the mouse or the keyboard? No, it is not the computer that makes the design. It is still you. The natural intelligence in you will make the computer what you are thinking. No, so always, of course, there's a downside on this. No. Siguro mamaya ko na sabihin, no, what is the negative effect of being too technical, no, of knowing so much about using technology, no. So I'll just have a rejoin there later. Thank you.
Eric.
Yes, thank you, Architect. And so, ang ganda ng conversation, it's really again seeing technology as a tool, right? It's so value neutral, kumbaga yung technology. It's really going back to our intention, who we are, the interiority of design, just like what Michael talks about, it's the interiority of the designer. And so from there, I'd like to ask, especially our judges, so what kind of technology do we want to see in the submissions this year that can create sustainable communities for everyone in relation to the theme of this year's AYDA, which is amplifying empathy through design? Is there a vision that we're seeing for the future in terms of technology and design and how they merge? And in creating communities. Let's hear it from our judges. Anyone would like to start?
I can start. So,
Yes, Architect Kathy.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Following up on what Architect Normandy and Ivy and Chat were saying earlier. Of course, Normandy, you now joined the fans club of Ivy Almario. Yong Nieva is the president. So, so anyway, I love the interaction and the exchange, and I think our students here also agree. I call it technology with humanism because this is where we are now, and Jimbo put
Nice.
forth all our ideas and all our directions. The future is changing and it's evolving, and that digital transformation is upon us.
Nice.
And yet the emphasis on empathy, on wellness is still all about soft skills. It's all about people. And you're right, when you put together and you have a great grasp of technology and you have good empathy and a wonderful understanding of how it is to be human and how to be truly evolving as a designer, whether you're an architect, landscape architect, interior designer, or contractor for your clients, then that's where you meet that great balance of becoming an excellent professional. It is when striking that can you really achieve and meet the future. But you really must embrace technology because later on, they're already developing, because we already have the stylus. Even on our iPads, we could use the sketches and do our own renderings with it. So, and you have to combine both skills. So technology with humanism, empathy with technology, and the past meets the future. Those are my key takeaway points.
Those are really beautiful, Architect Kathy.
Beautiful, Kathy.
Beautiful. Oo. Grabe, pwede bang mag-apply na ako ng fans club din ni Architect Kathy Santilian
Ni
forever?
Kathy.
Ivy Almario muna tayo.
Kathy.
President ako doon. President ako doon.
Treasurer ako.
Chapter president ako kay Ivy.
Jimbo, Ivy is the first cousin of Melucci. Oh, marami kaming mga
that's terrific. Yeah.
Reunion.
Wow. Grabe,
Halika
throwback,
na, Eric
no?
and Michael, and all our wonderful 241 students here.
Yes.
Wow, I am just so happy to be engaged with all of you here. You know,
for our students, if you have questions,
so
please
wonderful.
join us in our conversation. Please post your questions in our chat box, especially as our judges now give you a piece of their mind, right? Yeah. So what to expect?
We have a question
also in this year's
we have a
submission.
comment from Christian here, no?
Yeah. Michael,
Christian
maybe you can read. Yes, Jimbo.
Sige, I mean, kayo na bahala to read the comment, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, sabi ni Christian.
Can I read? Eric,
yes,
I'll read it.
Michael. Yes, Michael. Go ahead.
Sabi ni Christian from Bulacan State University, and he said, just like Ma'am Ivy, I am also a pen and ink person. But as a student, it's a challenge for me to adopt the advancement of technology and my skills because I know it will help me to do my work and my plates easier and faster in the future. But if you ask me, what do I prefer? I'll stick to power of manual drafting and rendering. Thank you po. Yan. People are echoing their sentiments about how is it, I'm picking up a lot of Eric, Jimbo, I'm picking up a lot of vibe on the shifting of mindsets. And what I love about this conversation is that we are all picking up that technology is more than just a gadget. Diba? Technology allows us to see how we can shift. Technology is allowing us to see how we can do work exponentially. Kanina, I posted in the chat room, just to set the tone of this afternoon's conversation, and I said, becoming a successful designer extends beyond the strength of one's passion to design and the ability to make a career out of it. I posted that thought just to steer away, finding how we can connect where we are right now in our consciousness as designers or people in the creative and connect it to technology. What I'm picking up as a response right now is people are really, alam mo, ang lakas ng energy when people said Jimbo was riveting. It actually opened the door that technology is more than a gadget. Kapag dito sa bahay, nag-uusap kami, when I talk technology to my dad, ang sasabihin niya lang cellphone. Ang sasabihin niya ito. No, but when I talk to Philip about gadget, it's endless. So you see, I am in between generation, and what I'm seeing right now is not only the shifting of attitude towards digitization and technology, but how we are being welcomed or ushered into the fourth industrial revolution. Maybe Jimbo, you wanna talk something about how our generation kanina ang gusto kong sabihin, everyone in the panel, even the speaker, without you doing it, guys, you already have carbon dated yourself. Okay. So ito ang gusto kong so that we can move forward with this conversation. Ano yung itsura? If you can paint a picture, Jimbo, on how we will usher now into the world of the future, no? And technology as a set of perspective. Can you tell us what you see, Jimbo?
So for me, technology would enable Filipino designers to really go global, right? And I don't know if you feel the excitement and the incredible benefit of that possibility. So there's nothing wrong with analog, right? There's nothing wrong with analog. Analog is beautiful. And as Chap said, you have to start with analog. If you can't sketch on paper, you can't sketch on a tablet either, right? Now, the possibility of so when it's analog and you draw well, who knows that you draw well? Who can appreciate your drawings? Kapitbahay mo lang, basically. Yung nasa household mo. Diba? O yung mga kaklase mo. Sila lang makaka-appreciate kasi yun lang yung network mo eh. Diba? Yun lang yung network mo. And then sasali ka na exhibitions, mag-iimbita ka, kailangan nila pumunta sa isang gallery physically to appreciate your work. And that's okay. Okay din yun. But imagine the benefit to the world if Filipino designers can be accessed from all over the world, all 6 continents where there are humans. You have the potential to reach all of these people when you go digital, right? So you can design a house in Iceland from your home in Mindoro. That's absolutely possible when you go digital. For me, that is the benefit of digital. It will allow you to increase your impact. It will allow our industry, our design industry, to go global. It will allow the world to see the beauty of the mind of Filipinos, allow the ingenuity and artistry to be communicated to the rest of the world.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
agree.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jimbo. And of course, AYDA is a platform for our young Filipino designers to be able to showcase to the rest of the world, to their region. And we'd just like to remind everyone, right, that AYDA is affording you this chance, once in a lifetime chance, to present your own view of how the future looks like for everyone. What kind of communities can be built with a Filipino heart in it, right? And so not just a Filipino mind, but also a Filipino heart.
Filipino.
And so on that note, because we're nearing the end of our conversations, I know it's really wonderful. Thank you so much, all our judges, and of course to Jimbo for this wonderful afternoon. But on the last note, we'd like to ask our judges first, like, what would be your message for our participants, especially things that they may probably consider in joining this year's AYDA? We'll start with Architect Normandy because he was raising his hand a while ago pa po. Yes, Architect.
Yeah, I just want a continuity on what we are discussing a while ago. So, akala ko nga nakalimutan na yung question. What will be our advice to this forthcoming mga contestants natin? No? You know, I speak about a while ago about the technology as being only a tool. No, of course we are expecting that all our contestants will be embracing technology in their presentation of their design solutions, no? But you know what? You know, I'm supposed to mention this in my closing statement sana, but I think it needs already importance, no? Ang sa akin, no, technology and architecture have two sides, no? There is also a downside to using technology in architecture, no? Ang lagi kong sinasabi sa mga staff ko at saka mga sa ibang students, no, that your natural intelligence should not be overwhelmed by technology, no? So ang advice ko sa mga contestants, no, kasi nandiyan na yung CAD, no? Simple drawing sa CAD lang at saka Revit, ako satisfied na eh. But then BIM came, no? Yung BIM, yung building information modeling, it will show everything. That while designing the building, it shows already everything. So there is transparency in materials, in dimensions, in quantity. So it is also very important. But it is not a requirement dito sa competition natin, di ba? But when it comes to the visual reality, I think this is already too much para sa akin, no? In visual reality, you just imagine or speak or type whatever design you want, and the program will give you a solution to the design. I think that is not anymore advisable when it comes to architecture, no? Kasi parang siya ang computer na ang nagde-design para sa iyo, no? In visual reality, ganun siya, makikita mo kung ano shape yung gusto mong i-shape yung building mo, the computer will do it for you, no? And in some cases also, mga estudyante, no, wag kayong anong tawag dito, modestly aside, no, with your indulgence, sabihin ko, there are also some students na pag may design problem, magre-reset sila ng mga figures na gusto nila. And then there is a program in computer or an apps na i-subject mo yon to revisions, it will create the design. I think that is not advisable to architects. Yun lang. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Architect
Thank
Norman.
you so much.
Micah would like to...
Yeah, alam mo, hindi ko alam kung sino pipiliin ko. Okay, let me start siguro with chat. Okay. Any message, chat, and yon.
Well, for me, for those joining the contest this year, for me, first things first, understand the problem, and research, and go further than looking online. For me, you know, there are many places you can go to. If you have to research about Philippine materials and all that, we have a research center in Rojas Boulevard. What's the name again, Mike? I forgot the name, but
Design Center Philippines.
Yeah, Design Center Philippines. You can go there. It's for free. Research on what materials are available for your use, together with the Nippon paints, of course. Learn to marry materials. Learn to use texture and play with them. Diba? Me, I'm never afraid to play with things. Well, not all things. Not all things, but you know, you experiment, play with it, you know, get the material, and you know, me, what I do, I ask for the samples and we play around with it. Kung ayaw nila ibigay, di bilhin, you know, but it's the only way that you can experiment. And before you think out your concept, put everything together, you know, like I was reading Kelly Wursler the other day, and she was saying, she's an interior designer in the States, she's very famous, and she has a mood wall per project. So anytime she comes across anything, even when she's in a restaurant or a shop or whatever, and she gets an inspiration from that place, she gets that sample, that tissue or fork or whatever, a picture of the menu, and sticks it on that wall. And when she looks at it now, para siyang, she sees everything na daw in the design. So for me, I think it helps that you try to get inspiration from everywhere and put together all your thoughts and ideas before you start drawing. Don't procrastinate and don't rush. Think hard and think what we will think about your projects.
So,
Think what we will think.
yeah. Eric, yan yung sinasabi ko sa'yo na kapag si chat ang kausap mo, riot na. And I will not expound on that anymore.
I can
you know,
sense
Yes,
it
I'm
super
sorry, I
fast.
have to leave. I have a
Yes,
client
thank you,
call at
Jimbo.
4 o'clock. I put
okay.
my
Bye, Jimbo.
presentation on.
Thank you,
It's on in the chat
Jimbo.
box.
Thank
Thank you,
you
Thank you
so
so
much,
everyone.
much.
Jimbo.
Thank you,
Thank you
Salamat
so
Looking
much,
Jimbo.
forward
Jimbo.
po.
to
Thank you so much.
meeting you again in a future forum or online or in person. Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
so
Thank you
much.
Thank
So
you
much.
so much,
Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Bye-bye.
Coach Jimbo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to hear Kathy's invitation and maybe some parting words for our contestants, future contestants, our students.
Okay,
Kathy,
well,
here.
I wanted to first of all thank everybody again for this engagement and all of you students who are so interested and who are putting forth your talent, your skills, and your time. Joining a competition always hones your skills. And in today's talks, the focus was on technology. And yet, through this engagement, you all heard that indeed you need to combine technology still with the soft skills. And with our main topic on empathy, there is that component of focusing on people. And just as Chat was saying, research, and just as architect Normandy was saying, there's still so much to learn. And through the competition, you will learn. So along the way, I encourage you to push yourselves to the borders and understand exactly by thinking beyond the box and out of the box, and then use technology as your tool. And of course, you can always get in touch with all of us here. All of us, I know, Michael, di ba? Millennial na tayo. We are all on Instagram. Right, Ivy? Ivy even has a new
Millennial, feeling
YouTube
like a millennial.
channel. Ivy now has a new YouTube channel and I'm plugging it. Okay. Si Architect Normandy, one of the first to be using CAD during his time. See, so, we are grasping it. And Chat Forrest's kid will teach her a lot of things on technology. So all of you who are joining this competition, stay in touch with all of us. Send us a message, send us a note, and we're here for you. That's all.
Beautiful.
Love it, Architect Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And of course, the last, no. Paano ko ba tatawagin? O sige na nga, Miss Ivy Almario.
Thank you so much.
And first,
To all the students here, I don't want you to be disabused by the notion. My office is completely digital. That's all. We of course deliver with CAD and all of that. But all I'm saying is I'm the only dinosaur in our office. So what I wanted to say was, please understand, along with what all the other judges have said, that the reason why empathy, I think, is the subject matter now is because we're mindful of being relevant, because we're all going as a community, as a human community, the whole world is grasping what hit us with COVID-19. So this is the reality. And our first response and the most humanistic and noble response is with empathy. So I'm not surprised that this was the subject matter that was given to all of us. I want to just synthesize everything that I heard today. I just want you to know that technology is just something to do with your deliverable. It will not think for you. It is just, again, how you deliver something is through technology. But the critical thinking will always come from you. So whatever it takes for you to get there, the avenues we always use are research, going out physically, because we all have already enough in our built environment for you to go, observe, bounce ideas on, question yourself about why you like it, why you hate it, develop your critical thinking, because empathetic design starts from you having a conversation with yourself. So like Kathy said, lahat kami, all of your judges, all of us here are open. You can have our numbers. That's why we're here for you. because we want to produce. This time, we're here, FTW, for the win. We have your backs. Okay? Salamat.
Ano ulit
Salamat
FTW,
always.
Ivy? Ano ulit FTW?
That FTW, right? For the win. Cara Marcelo's FTW. I'm like,
Oh, for the win.
for the
Galing,
win.
di ba?
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Eric?
Yes, thank you so much once again. We'd like to thank all our judges for your time and, of course, your valuable contribution to this conversation. We hope that our students picked up a lot from this, right? Generated some ideas, but also questions to think about as you design, as you come up with your designs and submissions for this year's AYDA. And Michael, last few words from you as we close this and before we turn over to Michael Kililan.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Kanina, when we were starting, I thought we'll just moderate and maybe just bounce back, no? Some learnings and some bits and pieces of wisdom. But I've written a lot of realizations here. I love how the panels have diverse perspective. But one thing is resonating. Technology is very neutral. It can be both the message and the vehicle. And I love it that we will not only use technology, ride technology, but live in a technological world. Think digital, do the mind shift, better our lives, and move forward with the future. Thank you, Eric.
Right, thank you. And what I'm hearing also, Michael, I'd like to echo that behind every technology is a human being. And we hope that that human being has a heart for other human beings and environment so that we can co-create a better world that is sustainable for everyone. And so please, so our students really take advantage of this one. And we welcome you to this design community. See how supportive our judges are, di ba? This is so different from other competitions. Sa ibang competitions, mala Simon Cowell yan di ba? Of course, we have those here. Wala na pala si Michael. So, but yes, but see, this is a supportive community and we welcome you all to the AYD community. We'll have more of this definitely. Next week, we're up for 2 more design talks on nature and culture. Thursday and Friday. That's going to be next week. So please sign up. Again, so you need to sign up because the sign up links are different. All right, so you have to be able to sign up for those 2 remaining design talks before, of course, you submit on December 3. And on that note, we'd like to turn this over to MQ, Michael Kililan, our contest manager. Thank you.
Okay, we just do.
There you go.
Okay. So with that, I would like to thank everyone, all of the students, all of the teachers, and of course our judges for being with us this afternoon. And of course, I'd like to thank our moderators, Eric and Sir Mike, for that very insightful and educational, informative sharing and exchange of thoughts this afternoon. So again, as what Eric said, hope you guys still register for our talks, so for the last 2 sessions for design talks next week. So on October 28th, same time, and 2 to 4 p.m. And again, October 29th, we'll be having culture first on Thursday, and then nature, our last design talk on Friday next week. Okay, so if you still haven't registered yet, just go to our website, and if you saw the link that we shared earlier, just register through that. Okay, and with that, we'd like to thank everyone and stay safe. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Mabuhay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Mabuhay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Peace.